It was on Christmas Eve, when I was 10 years old, that I first realized my family may not be the normal type of family. Most children take living every day with their family for granted. My family situation is different and can be described as a blended family. My mother had my older brother Jared when she was previously married, and my father had my older sister, Ashley, with his previous wife. Both of my parents got divorced, eventually met, and married. A few years later, I was born. Jared is my half brother, and Ashley is my half sister. Ashley lives with my parents and me only half the time, and Jared spends every other weekend with his dad. On Christmas Eve, my 10 cousins, aunts, uncles, and my family all gathered together at my grandparents' house to celebrate the holiday. As soon as I walked into my grandparents' house, I could smell the delicious aroma of ham cooking in the oven and an apple pie cooling on the counter. It is our family tradition for everyone to sit down together for dinner, and then all the grandchildren go down to the basement to play various board games while the adults clean up. Since I am one of the youngest of all the cousins, I would get picked on the most. My older cousin Matthew said, "I don't care who wins this game as long as we don't let Nick win." All my cousins laughed and agreed to gang up on me throughout the game. I guess they all knew that winning was very important to me. I responded, "I'm going to prove you wrong one of these times." However, that never seemed to happen. It was fun having all my family together, though. After the adults had cleaned up the dishes from dinner, we heard a loud knock on the front door. Everyone gathered in the living room, and to our surprise, Santa was at the door, carrying a huge sack filled with presents. Santa's beard was as white as snow. He was dressed in his red suit and wearing black boots. He appeared to stand 6 feet tall as he sauntered across the room and sat in my pop-up's rocking chair. Santa then slowly pulled out brightly wrapped presents from his sack for each and every grandchild. When my name was called, I crawled onto Santa's lap and opened my present. After opening my present, I asked him, "Are you the real Santa?" "Well, of course I am," he responded. "How are you able to be here right now then? Shouldn't you be at the North Pole packing your sleigh with toys for all the good boys and girls?" "If you keep asking all these questions, I'll be sure not to come to your house later tonight with your presents," Santa said jokingly. Santa called my brother's name next, and Jared went up to Santa to get his present. It was then, when Jared asked Santa if he would deliver his toys to his mom's house or his dad's house, that I realized my family was different. My cousins were confused by Jared's question because they didn't understand why he had two sets of parents. They all then looked at Jared, Ashley, and me with a curious expression, and for the first time, my idea of what I believed was a normal family was being challenged, and I realized my family was different. That night, after leaving my grandparents' house, I felt sad because my family would not all be going home together like most normal families to spend Christmas night and morning together. After driving home, my dad drove Ashley to her real mom's house to spend the night, and Jared went to spend the night at his dad's house while I went home to a quiet house with my parents. Being part of a blended family is not always easy. My brother Jared told me before he left, "I wish I didn't have to go to my dad's house tonight." "Then don't go," I answered back. Jared said he had to go because his dad was expecting to see him, but promised that when he returned home the next day, we would play with all our new toys and that I shouldn't be upset. Ashley tried to explain to me why our family was different, but I still was not willing to accept it. She told me, "I have two families, one with you, Jared, your mom, and dad, and then another with my other mom, stepdad, and my sisters. Since my parents are no longer married, I need to spend equal time with both of them." I responded to her saying, "Do you like being different and having two families?" She admitted, "When I was younger, I had a hard time adjusting to going back and forth between two homes and two families. I have 2 bedrooms, 2 sets of clothing, and different friends. You are lucky that you're able to live with both of your parents all the time." It did not make sense to me why my family couldn't be together all the time like other normal families. Every child waits 365 days for Christmas morning when they can wake up early, discover brightly wrapped presents under the Christmas tree, and celebrate the holiday with their family by opening their brand new presents. However, it wasn't that simple for my family and me. My parents insisted that we open our presents as a family, so I had to wait for my brother and sister to return home from their other parents' homes before opening any presents. I said, "This isn't fair. Jared and Ashley received double the amount of presents than me, and you are still going to make me wait." My parents did feel bad about this, so they allowed me to pick one present from under the tree to open. I was looking for something in particular, the brand new Nintendo DS. I gazed under the tree and scanned the options. My heart raced with excitement as I saw the lustrous gold and silver wrapping paper that Santa always wrapped the best gifts in. I grabbed the gift and frantically tore off the paper. My eyes widened and my heart sank into my stomach. A feeling of disappointment overcame me as I looked at the book, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. After opening my present, I went back upstairs to my bedroom and got ready for church. The church I attend is a small country church filled with stained glass windows. My mom's side of the family has been attending here for many years. After church, we all went out for breakfast at a local restaurant. All of my cousins were excited and talking excessively about their new toys and presents they received that morning from Santa. I sat quietly because I was the only one who had not yet opened my Christmas presents. To say the least, I was very cranky this Christmas morning. My grandma noticed I was upset at breakfast and asked me what was wrong. I responded, "It's not fair how Ashley and Jared receive double the amount of presents than I do, and it is hard only getting to see them half the time since they have to spend time with their other family too." She replied, "I understand why you are upset, but that should make you realize how lucky you are and to be thankful that you have a brother and sister. Many kids don't have any brothers or sisters like several of your cousins." At that moment, I was not in the mood to listen or willing to understand what she was saying. Looking back now, I realize that I'm grateful to have siblings, and it is not their fault that they have two families and can't spend all their time with my parents and me. After breakfast, my brother and sister met us at our house, and our family celebration was finally able to begin. We all sat around our brightly lit Christmas tree and took turns opening our new presents. Although we do not have the same set of parents, my brother, sister, and I all respect and love each other similarly to any other family. Jared and his stepdad, who is my real dad, treat each other as though they are blood related. Jared calls him dad, as well as my dad calls him son. The same goes for Ashley and my mom. Often, when we are around other people, they actually forget or do not realize that we are a blended family. Growing up, I thought my family was normal, like every other family, but quickly learned that was not the case. My family situation is different, and even though this was not always easy, I learned being different is not always bad.